This is MBD TV.
You work on something like Alphism and the other many TV shows and movies you've worked on. How important is it to get on with your co-stars?
Well, I think it's like any other relationship. I think the thing people don't realize about film work is that it's very blue collar. Like the sexiness and the glam and glitz comes once it's done and you're at the awards and the red carpet or doing press. But the reality is you work 12, 15, 17 hours a day. A lot of times you're working in conditions that are really tough. You know, some days you feel like you're working like a mine worker. You know what I mean? I was just shooting the show Revolution, as a for instance, which is a show that takes place in, you know, the world with no power. So shooting in an area of the United States called Wilmington, North Carolina. They had to find all the most broken down, decrepit locations to make it look like the place. So you're not comfortable. There's all kinds of, who knows, asbestos or lead or dust, and it's cold, and you know what I mean? So I find that most crews and casts that I work with, people really appreciate the opportunity to work because it is tough. 80% of the time, successful actors aren't working.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
80%
of the time you don't get the gig. So when you do get it, I think that it's important to be gracious and generous and
absolutely.
Yeah. So
have you ever made friends?
I hate everybody I work with.
Well, that's the next question is off the list. That's it. I'm about to say, have you ever kept any friends from any of these projects?
Yeah. I mean, from my very first big film, Cool Runnings.
Sure.
Loved it.
You know, the cast were all still friends. All you know.
Seriously?
Yeah.
Oh,
we're all still friends.
That's amazing.
From New York Undercover, I'm still friends with.
Let's go back quickly to the role of was it J.C. Williams.
Yes.
Was it in New York Undercover? As it turns out as well, the very first police drama with people of color in starring roles. I find it so hard to believe.
Yeah, and it hasn't happened since.
What?
So our show was the first dramatic series starring two people of color to be renewed past one season. And that hasn't really happened since then. So there's been, you know, obviously you have people of color in dramatic roles, but they're not the primary leads. And
is it significant
it's even
to you?
worse. What's that?
Is it significant to you? Do people come up to you and
well, I mean,
why they idolize it?
Doing a show like that for me was like being Jackie Robinson, you know, breaking the color barrier in baseball. You know, it really is like that. I mean, you know, so one of my fondest memories of doing a show like that, well, that show was being in Cape Town in 1996 at a mall and having a 65-year-old white woman come up to me and say, my 13-year-old grandson wants to be like you because of that show.
Wow,
And
that's
so
amazing.
That was, and so I would go back to the States and go to the head of the Fox studio and say, look, this is the impact that this show is having globally.
Sure,
and,
absolutely.
And it didn't always translate.
No,
so even the fact that we had the show on the air, we still didn't get the, you know, the advertising never got the top dollar. So there was never a billboard or a poster. As much as people loved that show, it was still like, we called it the little ghetto show that could. But that being said, it's never been out of syndication.
MBD TV.
Only on Jacaranda FM.
SA's best mix of the 80s, 90s and now.